What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And guys, I went on to Twitter this morning, and I saw that the one and only, the mighty, the powerful, the uncanny Data Racer had posted something on Twitter about how the Winter Soldier Falcon series, I think it's called the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's funny because I keep wanting to say the Falcon and the Snowman. I think there was a movie called The Falcon and the Snowman. But now the Snowman has become the Winter Soldier. So now we got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. All right, it's going to be coming out on Disney Plus. It is reported that the series is going to be highlighting, I guess, the public's reaction, the public's racist reaction to having a black Captain America. And I was just like, oh my God. It's like, who's in charge over there? Farrakhan? I mean, what the fuck is going on? You know, like, why? You know what I mean? Of all the different ways you can take this character and these characters, why there? You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, you should be measuring, if you're going to measure anything, I think that would be the public's reaction to your show having a black Captain America, right? But if you really want to, you know what, let me get into this article that I saw first, all right, to kind of like highlight what I saw, you know, with Data Racer, okay, because I went on and tried to read a little bit more about it, all right, so I came up with this article on heroichollywood.com, okay, and of course I'm going to leave the link to Data Racer, I'm going to leave the link to Heroic Hollywood in the description box, all right, so check them out. Especially Data Racer, my God, what a source of information. He does an incredible, unbelievable job. So anyway, the headline says, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier will explore reactions to Black Captain America. And it says here, Derek Kolstad, one of the writers on Marvel Studios' upcoming Disney Plus show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, reveals that the world's reactions to a Black Captain America will be explored in the series. And it says here, Kolstad took control of the Twitter account at Discussing Film, answering some questions regarding the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Kolstad responded to a question addressing the fact that now that Sam Wilson / the Falcon, Anthony Mackie, a black man in America, has now taken the mantle of Captain America. Will the series explore how people will react? Kolstad responded with following. Oh yeah, and then some. At the end of Avengers Endgame, Steve Rogers, Chris Evans, traveled back in time to live his life with Peggy Carter. Then, we see an elderly Steve Rogers at a bench where he's seen waiting for some. Steve officially passes on the mantle of Captain America to Sam by giving him his beloved shield. Sam is initially hesitant, feeling like the shield belongs to someone else, only for Steve to assure him, or to reassure him, that it isn't. For better or worse, whenever comic book characters are updated to reflect the diversity of the world, i.e. Falcon becoming Captain America, or female Thor, shout out to Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, female Thor, female Thor. I'm such a stan, I can't help it, I love the Fandom Menace. Fandom Menace, stand up, you all inspire me. Shout out to Jeremy. Alright, so anyway, there is a segment of people that will react negatively out of their own prejudices. It will be interesting to see how the Falcon and the Winter Soldier will explore the social implications of Falcon becoming Captain America, and how the image of a black man wielding a mighty shield in the public eye will impact the culture. I impact the culture every day with my mighty shield. Swing! Anyway, where is it? Are you excited to see that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be exploring more modern themes, including the presence of a black Captain America in the MCU? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to include whatever. Okay, so anyway, guys, you know, seasons are changing. Believe it or not, my allergies are already starting to act up, and usually that's the first indication that the seasons are changing. We're about to go into fall. But anyway, guys, look. This makes me think about a few things, alright? The public's reaction to a black Captain America. Now, forgive me for actually putting some thought into this, alright? Unlike the SJWs who are currently running things, I would say that the Marvel title, the X-Men, explored what it would be like, alright? Now, and this is the funny thing, because back then, they did things in a much more imaginative way. You know what I mean? Like everything was metaphor. You didn't just hit people over the head with your themes and, you know, the concepts that you come up with. And the X-Men kind of explored the idea of diversity and differences in humanity and how people might be threatened by those things. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like I've kind of already saw that particular dynamic. How the public responds to a black Captain America in a TV show or an established character in a TV show is a different thing. Like if you actually immerse yourself into the world that we're talking about, into the Marvel universe, like that alternate reality, I think that more people would be kind of concerned or curious about who this person is underneath the mask. Because clearly it's no longer Steve Rogers. Like everyone knew that Steve Rogers was Captain America in the Marvel universe. All right, but the question is, are they going to know that it's Sam? Because they're going to see somebody different. So the question is going to become, who is this new Captain America? What happened to the old Captain America? Like, first you're going to have to explore that. The public finding out who this new person is. All right, now, when they know that Steve Rogers passed on the mantle to this new Captain America, I would think that for the vast majority of Americans and the public, the conversation would be fucking over. Because if they love the old Captain America, they would know that if the old Captain America trusted this Sam person enough to be a new Captain America, that would be enough for them, especially when they begin to see him doing what he's doing, you know, as a successor to the old Captain America. You know, plus, unlike the X-Men, you won't have like him with exceptional powers, so people can be afraid of what his potential might be. You know what I mean? So the conversation really doesn't get very far when you're talking about the actual average person's response to having a black Captain America. You know, if you really want to explore issues like that, especially, you know, now because it's like 2019, about to be 2020 soon, it's like you would go back in time and you would tell the story of the Tuskegee Airmen, you know, or some of the brave heroes who fought in World War II, such as my grandfather, you know, who had to face, you know, the enemy on the battlefield and then had to come home to a segregated, you know, America, and, you know, all the things that, you know, America was going through back then, facing its own, you know, prejudice and discrimination. You know, so if you were really interested in that, SJWs, you would teach a history lesson instead of fucking trying to hijack a character and disgrace him by having this fictional, made-up conflict that you think you're making a commentary about today. And that's the problem with SJWs. They're stuck in the past instead of wanting to acknowledge where we've come from, you know, in our rich history in this country. Now, some of the things that we went through in the past in this country is nothing to be proud of. What is to be proud, you know, what we should be proud of is the fact that we've come someplace since then. You know, we've progressed since then. Now, do we have further to go with that? Of course we do. But all of us share a stake in that. So if you're going to talk about, I guess, the way that a black Captain America would be received, you know, honestly, you know, and I'm going to be bad here, I know. Honestly, what I would love some brave soul to do is to talk about how that black Captain America would be received in the black community. All right, because there's a lot of us in the black community that unfortunately don't see our place, you know, in this society, and they don't encourage that place in society because they're so busy talking up fucking white supremacy. So if you want to see an interesting dynamic, look at some sections of the black community where they would consider Sam turning into Captain America to be an indication that he is an Uncle Tom. All right, they wouldn't encourage that for their children. You know, they would discourage it. Look at this guy. He's an agent of white supremacy. This is the very first time that Captain America has to apprehend a black villain. You would have outcry from the black community in some sections, you know, that this man is a coon, you know, and he's an agent of white supremacy and all that stuff. Now that might be interesting. You know, that would probably ring true more for somebody from my point of view. You know, and I don't think that would even be the vast majority of black people. I think there would be a very interesting section that would take to social media to be vocal about it, you know. And you know, from the white community, of course, you would have your pockets of you know, of hate groups and stuff like that. But I do think that for the most part, when they see like the good, it's almost like black cops. You know, shout out to black cops out there, of which my brother was one. Tommy, rest in peace. You know, it's like there's always going to be people who will condemn you for putting on the badge, for putting on the uniform. But then there's going to be a larger section of people who are just they're just glad to have you there, you know, as a protector. You know, like the cops who were there for my mother. You know, I live in one place and my mother lives in another, and it really does me, you know, it comforts me, you know, to know that there are so many cops out there, you know, who might have known my brother, you know, who just regularly check in on her, you know, black, white, you know, Asian, whatever, you know. So I just think that that is an interesting dynamic, you know, just like the real life connection. But as far as the comic goes, whatever goes in the comic, I do think that they're reaching, you know, a little bit, you know, to look for conflict and stuff. But I guess we're just going to have to wait to see how it's done. I mean, on a TV show, you know, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, you know, we'll see what's up, guys. I'm kind of babbling at this point, but I got to go because my son's on his way over, like I said before. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the concept that The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be exploring the public's reaction to a black Captain America? Is it something you think they can do and be honest about, or do you think that they're reaching the way SJWs always fucking do? All right, you can leave your comments. They're most welcome. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Once again, thank you for everybody who subscribes. I do appreciate it. And you can catch me on Twitter. I will be there. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.